Hello, welcome back to Bleep Bleep Bloop Bloop. This is episode number 10, the first half, the public half. The second half will be for subscribers or patrons only. But here we go. I'm aiming for about 30 minutes of scintillating, titillating, verbal emotion here. So, it's been a while. Last episode was episode 009. It was a standalone episode. There was no patron or Patreon only half. I shot my load. I made I aimed for about half an hour on that one. Some flat washers are flatter than others. I'm A/B testing the title on YouTube, so you may see a slight variation on the title if you go and look for it. It's the episode before this one, and this one's going to be audio, mostly audio. There's a visual element. I've added something for visual interest. If I remember, if I'm picking the one I'm going to pick, I haven't composited the audio and the video yet. I'm just thinking about which clip I'm going to use. You're going to see you should be seeing right now a rotating bag of some sort of fried snack by the company Calbee or Calbee. Calbee? C-A-L-B-E-E, the Japanese junk snack food, extruded oil, palm oil, whatever, junk snack company. So the reason why am I showing you that bag? It's funny because it's that company, that Japanese company, in recent months, because of the ongoing conflict in the Middle East, there's supposedly a shortage of a lot of petrochemicals in Japan. And one of the petrochemicals is a solvent called Naphtha, N-A-P-H-T-A. And apparently, because of moves like Calbee's, Naphtha is a solvent used in inks and dyes that are used in junk food packaging printing. And there's a naphtha crunch in Japan, and they're not getting enough naphtha, so they can't print. It's more expensive, I guess, to print colorful packaging. So they're cutting their own costs and printing just a very bare bones printing. So it's like black and white or black and silver. And it's kind of interesting because other companies and other countries are not doing this. So one wonders why is it affecting primarily or solely affecting Japan? I don't understand why. Did they have some kind of sweetheart deal to get naphtha cheap from Iran or something? I don't know what's going on. But anyway, so it's funny. I'd heard about it in the news, and maybe there's a video I can link. It's in Japanese, I think it's Japanese language news video about this move. It's not just fried snacks. It's water bottles and other, I think, multiple brands in Japan of food packaging, food and drink packaging. They're doing this weird thing where they're doing black and white. Like, if you grew up in the 80s in the United States, you would be familiar with the generic store brand stuff that a lot of times was printed in black and white also to save money or to give you the appearance, like to signal that it was a bargain. I don't know if they still do. I have no idea. But it was a funny move and weird that it's only Japan that's affected, as far as I can tell. So that's why I'm using that as a visual element there. So what have I been up to? I've been very busy packing boxes. Boxes upon boxes upon boxes. So far, 54 boxes. 54. Oof. And the boxes are in, you may hear a background click. That's me. I'm sitting in front of an actual computer, not a laptop, not a tablet, not a phone. Not a phone or a tablet with a secondary back screen for bigger work or something crazy. An actual genuine desktop PC. All right. So I use a scroll wheel or it's the one with the big ball with a thumb ball mouse clicker thing. Anyway, so the boxes, how big are they? In metric, they are 45 by 33 by 28 centimeters, and even I, trained as an engineer, using metric exclusively almost, in my studies and so on and so forth, and living in a place where metric is the primary system. Even I don't really think in metric. So I'll give it to you in American units. It's a little bit round up, 18 inches by 13 inches by 11 inches. Okay. Sounds kind of small, right? But I've been packing them with books, and books are heavy. They can be heavy, especially when you combine them. When you add one to another and put them in a box, the boxes can get pretty heavy. So I've been out of curiosity, before I recorded this podcast, I went and weighed a few of the boxes. Each box has different books in it, and some are paperback, some are hardcover, and there's some packing materials to fill voids that couldn't be filled because I don't have any books the size of the palm of your hand. Well, actually I had a couple, but I already packed them. So most boxes don't have really tiny books. They're just like normal paperback size, the smallest I've got, and then they go up from there. But there are some voids you can't fill, so I filled that with like crumpled up special packing, craft paper type stuff. It's got a weird eggshell texture pressed into it. Maybe when I unpack, which should be in the not too distant future, I'll take some photos of some of this stuff and show it to you. So anyway, I weighed them, and I don't have metric for this. I'm not going to look it up. 50 pounds a box. Every box is about 50 pounds. I've packed 54 of them so far in a period of just a few days of intensive packing, of hours upon hours upon hours of packing of books and then arranging the books, because it sounds simple. Box. Put the books in the box. Tape the box shut. In reality, it's not so straightforward, you know? Who amongst you has not packed to move things? I think everybody, as at this point, we're living in a modern age. You know, it's not a time where people, they're teenagers, they get in a horse-covered wagon and they go travel a couple hundred miles into some undeveloped area and then set up camp and then build a sod house or something and just live there until they die. I think most of you guys you had to move around, right? So here's what packing a box of books, for me at least, is really like. You start with the box. It's not put together. It's flat. And you got a bunch of them in one package. You have to take one of these flat packed cardboard boxes. You have to twist it, turn it, and moosh it to get it to be 3D. Then you fold up the flaps on one side at least. Then you got to tape it. And because I'm moving books here, these are books, and they're heavy. 50 pounds a box, remember, okay? You can't skimp on the tape. So you've got to tape on the seams. You've got to reinforce tape on like ribs on your chest. You got to tape that way. You got to tape long ways again. And then, if you're smart, like me, you'll run a strip of tape around where the bottom of the box, the two short flaps fold in first, and the two long skinny flaps, you fold those in on top, and then you tape that all up, okay? And so the tape extends from the bottom up the sides of the box. So then, because tape has a way of peeling when it's after you pack it, if you're not moving the things that day, if maybe it's got to sit a little while you continue to pack more boxes, then you got to taper. You should run a line of tape along the sides of the box that it'll hold the pieces of tape coming up from the bottom. It'll hold them to the side of the box so they won't peel off and fall off, and then the whole box won't collapse, right? So that's one. Okay, so now the box bottom is taped securely. What's next? For me, you have a giant clear plastic, heavy duty, 3 mil or 5 mil, what I don't know, I didn't measure it. Suitably thick plastic bag, flat bottom plastic bag, the type of the seams that are like a little bit like an X shaped seams on the bottom. You put that in there, okay? In case the box gets wet or we'll get for other reasons. So you put that plastic bag in. Then you load the books in. And the books, the first for me, I don't know, everybody's different, but for me, I do it spines up. So I try to cover the bottom of the box with books vertically so their spines are facing up. Okay? And I push them all to the one edge of the box, usually. One side, rather, one of the long sides, to see how much gap there is. And then there's two concerns. You try to arrange the books so that the spines are the same height for some span, as much as you can, right? You're not going to go across all your shelves and try to pick books that are identically deep, meaning that the width of the book, when you're holding your hands closed, that the width is the same. That's insane. That's not practical. You take a bunch from one section of a shelf or from one shelf, and you try to arrange those so that the heights of the book, when there's vertically, spines facing up, are about the same. That's because the next step is you're going to be trying to put books flat across those tops, covers facing up. You're going to try to fill the last few inches of the box's depth, right? Oh boy. So you push them all so they're touching one of the long sides, and then you see the gap there. For me, I put in a little dehumidifier sachet, one of those bags full of the little beads that absorb water. I get a Ziploc bag, I open it, leave it open. I use tape to tape it to the inside of the plastic bag, and then drop a dehumidifier sachet in there and stick that to the wall, the long wall of the box, where there's a gap where the spines don't extend all the way from side to side of the box. Okay, then I try to fill around that with maybe some vertical books, spines facing to the left or to the right, or maybe still spines facing up, depending how the shapes of the books, right? Then you try to make the first long, the end-to-end spanning, vertically spines facing up books. You try to put books flat on that, but sometimes the spines are not perfect, so you have to cut little pieces of random cardboard, okay, from other boxes. Like in our case here, last ones I was using, I had a bunch of Amazon boxes I'd saved because I knew this was coming up. So I saved a bunch of Amazon boxes, and I cut those up into pieces to do this kind of shimming. But I've run out of those. So now I'm using boxes that had 4 big bottles of distilled water per box. I had a couple of those empty. They're not as nice as the Amazon boxes. They're thicker, and the cardboard's like lower quality. It's tougher to cut. I don't know why. It's tougher to cut, but it's like drier and stuff. It's like I sound like a connoisseur of cardboard. I'm not an expert on cardboard. This is just my layman's description of the qualities, the properties of the cardboard. Anyway, so I'm down to these crappy distilled water bottle boxes. I'm using them. And you cut the cardboard shims to make it as flat as you can. Then you put more books in on top. And you turn the books this way or that way. I try to always, to fill out the box, I keep these ones, the covers facing up, so I can see when I'm unloading, when I plan to open the box later, I can see what's in the box more easily. All right. Anyway, and then when you're done, I cinch the bag, I pull the bag top together and twist it to try to make it airtight. Then I double over the end a little bit, and I zip tie it with a nice girthy, strong zip tie. And then I pull as tightly as I can. Click, 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 click. And then I use a pair of side cutters to cut off the excess, like the tongue of the zip tie, so that it won't cut my fingers later when I try to snip it later. And then I mush hopefully I've left a small void in the top of the books there, and I mush the cinched, zip-tied top of the bag down onto that. I close the flaps on the box, and I tape the top as securely as the bottom. And each box is uniquely numbered. And in some cases where I really want to know what's in the box, like I can imagine when I'm unpacking it, I might think, you know what? Where's my trigger point therapy? The books about how to massage spots on your body to release whatever. I don't know the woo-woo explanation, but it legitimately works. So a lot of people have trigger thumb, or they think they have problems with their tendons in their hands or something like that. I know from experience and other people's experience and my experience that there are certain spots in your forearms that if you really go at them hard with a knobble massage tool, or even the knuckles on your opposite hand, it releases the stress and the pain, and you can have numbness, you can have chronic pain in your hands, and other parts of your body also, So anyway, so say I want to know, where are the trigger point therapy books that I've got? These workbooks that show you, they're like rough diagram of the human body. They show you where the trigger points are, and then where the referred pains spots are. So you can say, okay, I have a pain in the nut spot. They're all kind of stippled. And then the corresponding X where the pain is referred from, that's over there. Okay, where are those? I labeled that box. It's in addition to the number and everything, it says TP Ther, written on the same thing where all the numbers are. And the numbers, to be very serious and to make things easier, the numbers are on, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've written them 6 times. They're written twice on the top on 2 different flaps at the ends, and then they're written on each side face, not on the bottom, obviously, because I'm not going to turn them upside down as the goal. Anyway, so 54 boxes. Each one's about 50 pounds, give or take a pound. So it's like on the order of 2,700 pounds. So it's more than a ton. It's crazy. And I packed it by hand, all by myself, in a matter of a few days. In fact, I would still be packing right now if I hadn't run out of tape. I used up all the packing tape. And packing tape prices, where I buy it from online, excuse me, sorry, burp. The packing tape prices have gone up. It's the Iran war, I guess. It's like Japan and the Naphtha. The prices of tape have gone up significantly, but it's not crazy. So I'm waiting for tape to arrive. Hopefully it'll be delivered shortly, and then I'll get back to packing. But it's giving me an opportunity to come and to speak with you, my friends, about what's been going on. And as I'm packing, I want to read you the cover. I have a bunch. I took a photo of this because of the weird jumble of books. I'm clicking around to get the photo to come up. So this is a pile of books that are on top of boxes that are already packed. I haven't packed these yet. Okay. Is the books that are just randomly assorted. They're they're from one shelf. They got set aside because they didn't fit, and mostly they're not all, but they're mostly soft covers. Inside the Stealth Bomber, Satan, Cantor, and Infinity, Beowulf, the Etymologicon, Algorithms to Live By, Architecture of Authority, Vacuum Flowers, The Self-Made Tapestry. Okay, so those are the titles. Legit, I joked with my wife that if someone didn't speak to me, had never met me, did not know me, and all they had to go by, all they had to judge me by were the contents of my bookshelves, they might think I was a pretty smart guy. Of course, if you've met me or you heard me talk on here, you can surmise that I'm a complete imbecile, and you would be right. But I do have good taste in books. Really, I'd say really excellent taste in books. So the books I just told you about, the Inside a Stealth Bomber, that one, the publisher is Motor Books Colortech, I think, and it's like pictures of the parts inside of a stealth bomber, like the control panels and also other parts. It's interesting, okay, to me, Then the Satan, Cantor, and Infinity, Mind-Boggling Puzzles book, that's by Raymond Smulyan, the logician and math guy, and seemed like a gentle soul who passed away some years ago. Then the Beowulf, I have a couple of different copies. The one I was looking at the photo of, it's the Seamus Heaney. I think it's Seamus. Seamus is right, Seamus, and Heaney, I think, is right. But his name is spelled Heaney, but his name's also Seamus. So Seamus is Seamus, Heaney is Heaney, right? All right. And Algorithms to Live By, I don't have the author, I can't tell. And actually, I remember I've read part of it, but I haven't read the whole thing. Then the Etymologicon, that's an interesting book. It's the one I've got is a paperback. It's by Mark Forsyth. It's tracing the origins of words. It's quite interesting. It's not just Latin and Greek roots. It's more than that. Vacuum Flowers, that's a hardcover short story collection by Michael Swanwick. Architecture of Authority, that's an interesting, it's a like coffee table type book. It's a bunch of like photos of like interrogation rooms and holding cells and things like that at airports and everything. It's not just prisons. It's interesting. The Self-Made Tapestry book, the subtitle is Pattern Formation in Nature. It's the Philip Ball book, and I've loved to read that. All right. So that was just random selection of what's on. I have to. One of those will be packed. They'll be packed shortly. I'm almost done packing books. It's amazing how quickly I've packed and how much, but it's not quite done. And after I've finished packing the books, then I go on to packing everything else, which is not fun. It's not fun. And really, especially when you're packing books, I've said that I've said that I have great taste in books, but also when your books are on the shelves and you just browse like an animal picking berries with its lips from bushes of different types of berries, you think, wow, I love my books. I love to be able to just go. I have books on almost any subject you want. I can go and pluck a book and just amuse myself endlessly. And most of the books I have not read from cover to cover. And ordinarily, that doesn't bother me one jot. Ordinarily, of course I haven't read them all. Don't you know that they say, whoever they say blah, 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 blah. I can Google some quote or DuckDuckGo some quote about how actually the books, you should have a lot of books you haven't read. Or most of the books you have you shouldn't have read. So you always have something, blah, 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 whatever. But when you're packing them, you don't think like that. When you're packing them, you are kicking yourself. Well, I'm speaking for myself. When I'm packing books, which isn't often, thank the Lord, but when I'm having to pack up all of my books, and not the books from the main library, just my personal library, 54 boxes so far, you're thinking, damn me for being such an idiot. What am I going to do? And you're picking up individual books you're holding in your hand, you're like, this differential equations textbook from my college time, I'm never going to crack this book again seriously and try to relearn differential equations. It will never happen. Never in a million years. And that may be true. But you know what you do? You say, don't think about that now. Just pack that book. Just get that book in that box. Just jam it in there. Don't worry about it. Who knows? Maybe you'll get back at differential equations. Maybe you'll get a passion for math and a facility that you did not possess even in your brightest times when your mind was young and plastic and you could learn, supposedly according to experts, much easier to learn new things. Maybe you'll have even greater plasticity. Maybe you'll take some critical amount of omega-3 or omega-6 fish oils in a day, and you'll be supercharged, and you'll just dive back into it, and you'll become a mathematical wunderkind. It could happen. Not likely. It could happen, but that's fine. It gets you through. And then that book is in the box. That book is in one of the boxes. And then you just pick another book, or you use your thumb and your hand like a claw, and you grab another 4 or 5 or 6 books at one time from the shelf, and then you try to slot them in Tetris-like into the box of partially packed box of books. And you're just thinking, how many more books can I get in here before I can yank the lips of that bag together and zip tie it shut and then tape it, and then I'll be on the next box, and it'll be box number 55, and there'll be box number 56. How many? I wonder how many boxes? How many total? Will it be 60 boxes? Oh, maybe 65. Oh, ugh. When you're packing the books, you regret having the books. Once you pack them, you're glad to have packed them, and then once you unpack them, you're glad to have them. But while you're packing them, you're like, ugh, I have too many books. And you're always thinking, should I give these away? Should I just make a giant pile of books at a dumpster somewhere or something? Should I try to sell the ones that I realistically am not going to read on Amazon? These are the thoughts that go through your head. But you just have to tell yourself, focus on the now. Just pack these books. Just get these books packed away. Don't worry about the future. Don't worry about the cost of employing people to physically move these boxes from one place to another place, not very distant from the place you're in now. Don't think about it. Just forget about it. Just get it packed, right? Anyway, so while I've been packing these books, what I've been doing, I've been trying to do is I've been holding out. I've been setting aside books mostly by certain authors, okay? So I can try to group them together. Because when they were on the shelf, they got jumbled. So, say, all the Larry Niven books. Larry Niven is a science fiction author. All the Larry Niven books weren't on one shelf. And I don't even mean they weren't on one shelf together. I mean they weren't on one physical vertical shelf. They were on different shelves. It's a large library, a lot of metal shelving here. So they were all spread around. So whenever I hit a Larry Niven book, I don't pack it. I set it aside so that I'll be able to make a box where all Larry Niven books will be in that box. I don't know if I have enough Larry Niven books to fill a box, but I might. And likewise, so with the Fritz Leiber books I've got, with the Ray Bradbury books I've got, with the Greg Bear books I've got, I might have enough Greg Bear books, and I'm pretty sure I have enough Ray Bradbury books to completely fill a box. Anyway, and when that box gets filled, I will write the name of the author below the number of the box on the same spots where I write it. So if that's me tapping. I got the hardcover. I got some hardcovers on my lap. I'm knocking them. But wait a minute. There you go. Wrapping them with my knuckles. So I'll write instead. I won't write Ray Bradbury. I'll try to be cool and save space. It'll be Ray B, because I don't know Ray Bradbury. And Larry Niven, maybe L Niv, something like that. L, like the capital letter L and the capital letter NIV, something of that sort. So I've been setting them aside, but eventually they too will be packed. And once I get the tape, I'm back at the packing. They'll probably be packed shortly, and then I won't have anything to read during idle moments while I'm packing everything else. And then it's on to the other sort of media, the DVDs and the Blu-rays. They also must be packed, and I will pack them. Those will be, I think, famous last words, but I think the DVDs will be much easier because Blu-ray disc cases I think they're smaller than DVD cases without looking at them in general. But basically, DVD cases are all one size. Blu-ray cases, all one size. So there's only two different sizes of things. So fitting them into boxes is a lot less like Tetris and just more like filling a box, physically filling a box. I think it'll be much easier. I won't tell you how long it takes me to pack one box, because what if you think that I'm taking too long to pack it? I can tell you that during the time that I spend packing in one day, I can pack the most I've gotten is 11. I've hit 11 boxes on a couple of days, but not every day. Not every day has been so productive. The day that I ran out of tape, I had 4 boxes. I did 4 boxes that day, and luckily I was able to finish just the last tiny centimeter of tape. I was able to finish packing, completely finish securely packing that last 54th box. Right? All right. So I'm going to continue this over on the second half of this episode. I'm going to stop recording here for a second, and then we'll do the second half. Okay? So the second half, I'm going to talk about some specific authors and books and reviews of their work in the New York Times. Guess which authors, guess which books. You'll have to subscribe to the Patreon to find out. See you soon. And if you don't see the Patreon, the next episode should be coming up. Not as long a wait as between episode 9 and episode 10, this one. So thanks a lot for listening. I really appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe.